the loophole.
You weebs. That's so funny.
I find it funny how like at the beginning, most people prefer to be called otakus, and they hated being called weebs, but now we just like accept it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just finished freaking Demon Slayer, the manga.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Shit gets legit, dude.
Oh yeah.
I really should actually get into the whole manga because the mangas are longer than the actual
Animes.
than the actual animes.
Actually, that one goes. It's like My Hero, where it's just tier for tier. Like it's almost exact. It's really, really like they pretty much take it and they do a complete flip and make it exactly the same.
Do you know where you can find like actual mangas like online?
Yeah, Viz. V-I-Z. It's the app I use for my phone, and then there's a bunch of sketchy sites you can get them for free. But Viz is like at $1.99 a month.
V-I-Z?
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's stupid cheap. I don't mind paying $1.99 a month to keep up with my stuff. And if you don't want to, you could just do it one time and then cancel your subscription so you get caught up on all the ones you want, and then all the new episodes are free.
V-I-Z?
Yep.
Okay.
It's in the App Store. It's red. Second one down.
That one?
Bingo.
And it has pretty much all the...
It has legitimately almost everything.
Sure, I'll check it out.
I've read all of Naruto using something completely different. Never mind, I was actually torrenting back, not legally reading it. I think I read all of Demon Slayer as my most recent one. I read all of My Hero for the most part, up to where they were at the time, which was like a year ago, so it was pretty outdated. I'm about to finish up. I need to start One Piece, or not One Piece again. One Punch Man again, because, dude, it got so legit. But it gets fucking insane and really hard to keep track of everything that's going on in the manga because it's so crazy. But yeah,
That's funny.
me being an anime nerd.
I know wrong dad.
Josh is fucking bad about Naruto though.
That boy is straight up obsessed.
Well, it's the only one he watches, and it's over. It's been over for a while.
Well, and then
because I was watching it with him. We were episode per episode whenever it was still coming out, and it was actual Naruto, not Boruto, which is his son. The manga's good, the anime's terrible.
Was it the anime I've been watching lately? Was it From Commonplace to the World's Strongest? It's pretty much about this. It's this classroom of students who get isekai'd or summoned to another world.
Yeah.
And they all
That one got really popular, right? Yeah.
When they get summoned to another world, they end up getting like these special abilities. Well, the main character, he's a synergist, which is more of like Full Metal Alchemist type thing.
Yeah.
And his abilities weren't really that great, so he was more of like a commonplace ability, until pretty much something bad happens. He falls and he has to try to survive on his own in a even very dangerous area, and ends up finding a way to survive on his own and end up becoming like the world's strongest in the world because of that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot like Shield Hero, like in the general concept. A lot of the style of animes are the same.
Pretty much, it's like it's more of Shield Hero. Everybody like abandoned him.
Yeah, but he gets put in like situations where he like ends up having to like become. He essentially accidentally becomes the most powerful. Mm-hmm. It happens. That's like the commonplace in those style of animes, where like they end up alone for some X reason, and then they do something ridiculous and become stupid powerful. Like Maple Story, that one.
Maple Story.
That one is funny as shit. Though Deep Cut, by the way, recently found.
The reason she didn't what?
Deep Cut I found recently.
I don't think I
Curious
seen Deep
Hero.
Cut.
No, it's called Curious Hero.
Curious Hero?
Curious Hero is
or Cautious Hero.
Cautious Hero. Dude,
there
that one
go.
Is fucked. Did you watch the end?
I watched all the way through.
Oh, dude, the ending? Oh, why?
What?
Why'd they do that?
At the end?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I'll explain it. Spoiler alert. So, at the end, this dude is like being overly cautious the entire anime. He like overpowers for every encounter. Mm-hmm. So he's able to go back to like this spirit world thing. And
Heaven,
yeah, it's heaven. And his angel is like, why can't we just go and fight the things? Well, at the end, you find out she wasn't always an angel. So he had already done this before. So they would summon heroes.
Which is strange because he doesn't have any memories of it beforehand.
Yeah, I know. It's explained. So what? So only a handful of angels have ever failed. Straight up failed. And meaning if you fail, that world is destroyed normally. So the angel that failed.
Now, which show was this again?
This is called Cautious Hero.
Okay.
It's fucking legit. It seems so weedy at first, and then you like get to the end and you're like, ow. So what happened is the angel was like begs for them to make so. Oh God, how do I explain this? So the group, there's this guy who's like, he's essentially the main hero. There's 3 of them that are summoned, I think. Mm-hmm. There's a girl, guy, and a ranger. The guy is like a swordsman. He's always rushing in before he's ready and finds a way to win, right? Well, they get to the main, and the girl, they fall in love, and blah, 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 and whatever happens. Yeah. They kind of skim through it. So they get to the end, and they're fighting the demon lord or whatever, right? And she's pregnant. He doesn't know yet, and she gets killed in front of his eyes, and the demon like makes a comment about it, I think, where he's like, the pregnant ones are always the tastiest, or he's an asshole. Yeah, and well, she gets fucked up. Everyone gets fucked up, and he gets killed. Failure. Well, whenever he gets killed, he doesn't just like nothing happens to him. He's summoned, so he gets thrown back to his old world.
So that's how that world actually works. If you die as a hero that's been summoned, you just get sent back to your old world.
Yeah, I don't think you keep your memories of the situation if you fail.
No.
But the long and short of it, the angel was the girl. The angel that was over that situation, she begged the main god or whatever. She was like, please save her. Like, I messed up, please. And she's like, you know what? I got you, dog. I'll make her an angel. And she's kind of like her mentor and stuff. And, well, she summons this guy. And it turns out the guy that's overly cautious, the hero, it's because it ingrained so far into his soul that he was being overly cautious and it fucked him up.
Why was he being overly cautious?
Because it was because in his other life
he lost the last battle.
Yeah.
With the
yeah, he was overly ambitious before, and he realized.
So this is his second time coming through.
Pretty much.
She didn't know. She saw him as being like, oh wow, his stats are really high for someone who's some rando, right?
Actually, both of them didn't know.
Neither of them knew. They both had their memories wiped. It was fucking terrible. So at the end, you're just like, he's going in alone, so no one else gets fucked up, and she's like, somebody returns her memories, and she's like, oh no. So she goes and she breaks all the rules to help him and blah, blah, blah. And he still has to, like, sacrifice himself, essentially. And there's a whole plea made so that he can... I don't remember how it concludes. Either way, it's fucking terrible, dude. It was really brutal.
I find it funny how he treated that angel the whole time. It's like there's
cold indifference.
There was one time where I guess they were like running back to the portal and everything to go back to heaven. They jumped to the portal. The guy jumped in first, and the girl jumped in second. And the girl ends up landing on top of him. And they had, I guess the girl was trying to have like this romantic moment with him. And so the guy like slowly grabbed her face like that, and then threw it to the side against the wall.
That's his.
And she just smacked against the wall.
Entire fucking time.
It was just.
But you like slowly realize that he like capped out his level so far back. Like the third big fight in, he capped his level. He was not able to go any higher. So all of his training was just for skill, like natural skill at that point, and gaining abilities. So he was just being pure shenanigans and learning like insane abilities. Mm-hmm. One of which was to literally sacrifice his life, and it was pretty metal actually. That was pretty gangster.
The first monster he ended up having to defeat was just a small.
He was a lower level demon.
Small low level slime, and he went overboard on that thing. He, for some reason, all he did was just like push-ups and sit-ups in heaven, like for I think 3 days straight. And for some reason, he ended up getting the ability of like some weird like fire obliteration spell, some weird electric obliteration spell, and he ends up like using them constantly on that one slime because it's like you don't know if it's gonna come back to life. It's like it's already dead. It's like you don't know about that, and he keeps throwing more at it.
It sets the tone for the entire anime. It was fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
He like destroys the town, fighting like the first low level demon. Like completely obliterates the town because he beats it, and then he's like, "It might come back. Wait," and starts obliterating it and making this giant crater in the middle of the town and burning the town.
So it's kind of like the potatoes joke in what was it? Avatar. What was it? The potatoes joke? I don't know. Who was the guy? Oh, it was some other. What kind of vegetable was it that the guy was always losing in Avatar?
Oh, cabbages.
Cabbages. So it's kind of like the cabbages joke.
My cabbages. Yeah.
What is it? I think it's more like
my cabbages.
Yeah,
I think it's more like Hiroshima, but making sure.
Well, no, I just meant like as far as like the running joke throughout the entire show. That
it's 100% like the running joke through the entire show. That entire show was really brutal though, for no reason.
Oh, it's going more for you drop one nuke and you're like, I think they're dead. Let's make sure it drops more nukes.
Like I like my shonens, but man, those ones are funny sometimes, man. Like,
what's the shonens?
Shonens is like, so it's like fighting style anime. So like Naruto is a shonen. Demon Slayer's a shonen. It's like
it's like Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z is a shonen. Like, it's one of those like.
Never really got into Dragon Ball Z.
I did, and then now I hate it because they ruined it with Super.
I think it was the fact that like fights would last as long as 5 episodes.
You have to watch Kai. Because otherwise it's not worth your time. It's fucking brutal.
I don't think any of it's worth my time. That's why I never
It
watched
isn't.
it.
It's a grind. It was the first one I watched though, because I didn't get into anime until I was like 18.
There's this one. It's not anime, but it's somewhat like a CGI. It's was it the Iron Fist?
Oh yeah.
I watched it with my father, and it was actually pretty interesting. Let's see if I can find it. It's a good show to watch actually. It's like somewhat like a cartoon, pretty much. Let's see.
What's it called?
Iron Fist.
But yeah.
Is it an anime though? Are you talking about?
It would probably be considered an American cartoon or something like that. I would just type in Iron Fist.
Oh no, I found. Well, now are you talking about like the old school Iron Fist?
No, not okay.
You sure it's called Iron Fist?
Eon Kid. That's what it was
Oh,
called.
okay. I'll say because Iron Fist is a comic book character.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Eon Kid.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Oh, that one's creepy looking.
It's
Not
actually
a fan.
It's a pretty good show if you actually watch it.
Well, tell me about it and I'll look it up. Eon, E-O-N?
I-O-N.
Eon.
Eon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind.
Eon Kid pretty much is about this. It's somewhat like Mad Max kind of thing because it's like a desert area, and this kid is going out salvaging for scrap metal and stuff, and then he finds this metal gauntlet, and he's like, "Well, I'm just a kid. Let me just stick my hand in this," and he does, and just like the Omnitrix, it gets stuck to his hand.
No shit.
Yeah, and it gets stuck to his hand, and it's pretty much, at first, it's like just a rocket propelled fist.
Because he kind of looks like Mega Man.
Yeah,
Kind of
right.
like. So that's pretty much what it is. Is like he can use the fist to kind of like propel himself like as a rocket and stuff, and then he ends up actually finding his father, who was actually the user of the fist beforehand, and he ends up learning how to use the fist from his father. He ends up learning how to use other forms of the fist with this weird monk-like guy, and it was pretty interesting. It was pretty much all just about like this Iron Fist that had like this very powerful ability to become a hero.
That's pretty cool. That sounds neat.
Like in regular form, it's just a gauntlet, but it can actually form out to make like an iron suit around him. That's why he looks like red and white like that.
Oh, okay. So that's why he looks that way in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's pretty neat. What are some of your favorite animes, Kyle? I'm sure there's a bunch of them that you just would love to tell us all about.
Dude, I have like a lot of animes that I watch.
Well, what was one of the first ones you ever watched?
First one, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Well, what was so let's beyond Dragon Ball Z. What's the second one you ever watched?
Naruto.
Okay.
I burned through Naruto. So I went Dragon Ball Z, Naruto.
Trigun?
Which one?
Trigun?
Well, just tell me about one of them that not everybody knows.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Dude,
What's your favorite anime of all time?
I
All
doubt
time,
anybody knows
It's a
Trigun.
weird, like...
What's it called?
It's one of those, like, I have a few. Tokyo Ghoul is probably my all-time.
Ooh, I've heard it too.
Tokyo Ghoul is fucking legit. I don't care what anyone says.
I've never actually finished... I never watched Tokyo
The
Ghoul.
first, like, 5 or 6 episodes are a little slow.
Okay.
I mean, they're interesting, but it's a little slow because it's kind of like world building still.
I think I stopped before the pedophile.
Which one?
The one that was like obsessed with the kid's blood.
Oh yeah, there was some weird ghouls in that one. I just finished it. It was genuine. It took me a long time to actually get into it.
What's it about?
So this kid. So it's a world. The world setting is there's humans and there's ghouls, right? Ghouls eat humans. They live kind of side by side, but not well. Like
Ghouls can
they're
only come out at night, right?
no. Ghouls can walk during the day and everything. They look like normal people for the most part. They sometimes have like abilities and stuff. Low level ones are kind of just weak bitches. You can't like become a ghoul normally, but the kid. So it starts
So
out.
are they born?
Yeah, you're born a ghoul. And humans and ghouls don't mix very often. When they do, it's crazy.
Well,
They
the main
normally
character,
die.
the main character wasn't born a ghoul, but he was surgically
So here's how it goes.
surgically saved with the organs of another ghoul that was trying to kill him. And so with the organs of that ghoul inside of him, it started turning him into a ghoul himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
That's
you go-
Trigun.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I just don't like. I don't know. I have weird taste about animation. Like I have very specific.
So what did you like?
I don't know.
about
You should
Tokyo
actually
Ghoul?
try this
I
out.
just like the
That's
story.
pretty
The main character was fucking. His arc was great.
That's loud.
He kind of becomes a bad guy, and you're like, what the fuck is going on with this dude? And it turns out he was like, he had a reasoning behind all of this stuff. It was just, it was a nice arc. It really humanized him as a character because he was as human as it gets. You know what I mean? He was like, I can't eat people, and then like he slowly like, eventually they're like, dude, you're gonna die. Like we got to give you like something. So he starts doing like, they make like, they take the people he's hanging out with, like take corpses and they make them into like tea, like not tea, but like for people who don't like eating people, ghouls who don't like eating people, they made them into like sugar cubes. I haven't watched that one.
That's from Commonplace to World's Strongest.
All right, we'll get to that one in a second.
And then, so he like goes through his whole arc of just kind of becoming less and less human until he's not recognizable.
Mhm.
And then the weird realization that like he took things way too far because he becomes the most powerful ghoul. Like nearly, bar none, he was probably the most, like almost the most powerful ghoul there was in the series. There was a handful that were more powerful, but that was some shenanigans that was weird and kind of like the myth, but not myth. It's weird. It goes through a whole fucking arc of just insanity.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was interesting, at the very least.
What was one of the ones you were wanting to tell everybody about?
Oh, I already told you guys about Commonplace to... Was it from Commonplace to World's Strongest? I just wanted to show you the picture of that.
Oh, okay.
One that I've actually been watching lately, it's not like finished yet, but I think it's on episode 8 right now, is Misfits of Demon Academy. Pretty much what it's about is the Demon Lord, let's see how I say it. The Demon Lord ends up getting bored of actually getting into fights with the hero and everything, so he just he makes a deal with the hero to kill him, get revived 1,000 years later, while also secluding the demon world from the actual world itself, so they can build their own civilization as it is. And he ends up getting reborn 1,000 years later, and he's OP as heck because he's the Demon Lord.
Nice.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool. That sounds neat. That sounds like a neat one.
The main protagonist from that one is pretty much some random guy who, after he died, some random guy came out of nowhere, started changing the memories of the main elite demons that worked under the Demon Lord, so that they would think that the guy who changed their memories was actually the new demon lord. So when that guy came back to life 1,000 years later, people didn't know who he was or that he was the real demon lord.
Nice. Well, that sounds like fun.
What about you, Justin? Do you watch anime?
I do watch anime. It's one of those things where it's I don't go out of my way to watch anime. It's not that I don't like anime. I really do. There's some, especially like, because like most of my exposure to anime started out with like a lot of you others, like DBZ, and I was in like middle school and stuff like that. That was in like what Cartoon Network was doing, their DBZ and their anime stuff, and that's when I think they were exposing a lot of America to traditional anime and stuff like that. And I like. So that was one of the first ones I watched, and I still got really into it, and it was really fun. Dragon Ball Z was really fun to watch for me because the reason why I ended up watching it all the way through is because I'd always wanted to, because it was something from my childhood, and then right as Super was getting ready to start, like the Battle of the Gods thing was starting to become a thing. Right when all those movies started to come out is when they went ahead and released all the rest of the back series. They had everything. They had Dragon Ball. They had all of it on DVD. Well, me and my son were moving into a new house over at the back of the bluff, and it was one of those. We weren't going to have internet for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So they had them all. They had them on sale. They were like, it was like $30 for like, or it was like $10. It was like $30 for each. They did it in sagas. They did it by like the Cell Saga and all that kind of stuff.
Cell Saga's legit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we bought all of those. I didn't go all the way back to Dragon Ball because I just didn't really want to.
It's not as fun.
Yeah, and so I went. So we bought all of those, and we watched all the Dragon Ball Z, and we watched the what was the ones that aren't. What was the one? GT. We watched GT too, and I know it wasn't canon at the time, and I know they've kind of changed that a little bit now with some of the way they've done some of the new stuff. But we watched GT all the way through, and it was really good. I absolutely enjoyed it, and it's just one of those. Like I want to get into Super and I want to finish Super, but it's one of those. It just comes down to time things.
I don't like Super though. They
you see, I liked the movies, and I've so far from what I've seen from the episodes, because I'm still stuck. I haven't finished the tournament yet. I'm still the last episodes I watched were in the middle of the tournament. So it's one of those things. I just really enjoy it. It's something that I like watching when I don't have anything else to do, and when it's one of those things, I know I'm going to get into it, and I know I'm really going to enjoy it, and because of the way anime is structured, you have to, the episodes are normally only like 30 minutes long, which actually works out to like 24 minutes after cartoons and stuff like that, so I know I'm going to end up wanting to watch a whole bunch of them at a time, and I'm going to watch them I'm going to want to watch them in order. And it's one of those, it's kind of like the same reason I don't play a lot of video games. It's one of those, I don't have the time. And it's not because I don't like anime, I really do. There was one of them, and there was one of them that I really want to watch, and people always tell me what the name of it is as soon as I talk about it. Because one I really want to watch because there's a system set up that's kind of like the Catholic Church, and they're vampire hunters, and one of the priests that's this really nice, quiet, reserved guy most of the time until he taps into like his vampire powers, and then he goes like full fucking crazy. But the rest of the time he's this very little sweet, innocent. I don't have any money. Can I have a cup of tea, please? And I can't remember what the name of that one is.
Wait, say it again.
It's the priest he's like a priest, but he's like half vampire, and they're running around hunting vampires. Mm-hmm. But like when he's in full power mode, he's crazy powerful, and the rest of the time he's like this meek little priest that's like, I don't have any money because they don't pay me anything, and can I at least get a cup of tea because that's all I can afford?
If you ever have like a weekend, watch Castlevania. You might like it.
Yeah, I probably would, and that's like I said.
There's on Netflix.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of good things about the new Castlevania, especially the one on Netflix and stuff like that. And it's just like I said, there's a lot of them out there that I'm sure I would really be into and I'd really love, but it's just I just don't have the time to watch.
That's one of those though. It's like a weekend thing. Like you don't have to like. I binged it in like a weekend.
Right.
It was like a. I had the weekend off. Wasn't doing anything, so I just kind of binged through it, and it wasn't super long.
Yeah.
The story gets real to the point. It's real quick. It's not.
Well, it's a Netflix created series, right?
Yeah, it's not real. It doesn't drag. There's not a whole lot of unnecessary story being told. It's just this is what's up. Let's watch some cool shit.
Right.
Fight.
Well, and see, and that's one of the other issues I have with anime is. Especially like Naruto, like you and Josh and everybody else has been telling me you just have to get through the first da-da-da-da-da. But the problem is that first da-da-da is like 300 episodes, man.
Nah, you don't watch all 300, dog.
Well, and it's like, it's one of those things like, I know, and it's like, but it's just because...
fillers.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I hate about a certain, and I know a lot of shows do it, but man, anime.
I did not like it.
Anime will have entire seasons of filler.
Oh, dude, Boruto has 99 episodes of filler.
Yeah, and that's my biggest problem with all of that, because you have to get through all the filler, and it's like, I don't have the time to watch a series to get to the good parts that's 900 episodes long.
Me and Josh just skipped filler, dude. Like, we have it pulled up on our phone, which episodes are filler, and then we just... Nope. And it usually skips along way quicker.
Well, and Josh told me to do that, and it was one of those things, but the problem is even skipping the quote-unquote filler episodes, like with Naruto, I still had to watch the whole fucking first season. And the whole fucking first season is Naruto acting like a damn annoying little kid the entire time. And I just, maybe it was just the time.
You do it for the Gar episode.
And that's probably what it comes down to. Maybe it was just at the time. I just was like, I am not in the mood. I am not doing this shit. I am not going through this.
It's terrible. The first season is genuinely just... It's the first little like chunk is horrible. You watch it until the Gar episode and you're happy, and then you just ride that out, and then you get through it, and then you get Shippuden, and then Shippuden has some of the most metal moments.
Yeah,
like Shikamaru, the fucking quiet dude. He's the smart, quiet dude. He has the most thug moment.
Yeah,
because there's a dude who's like, my God, and blah blah blah, and he basically is immortal, and he'll cut you and like lick your blood and then like kind of control you or whatever, right?
Okay.
Well, fucking Shikamaru is like he fucking tricks him and he like throws him into like this point where he's like, you're gonna die. And he's standing over him. He's like my God is. He's like, I'm your God now. And then fucking clicks and kills him, and I'm like, oh, you fucking thug, dude.
See, and that's one of those things. Like, I want to watch it just so I can get to that point. But the problem is Josh was like, yo, you can just jump right into Shippuden and just watch it, and it'll be fine. Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, I tried watching the first episode, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. And even in the very first episode, there's like this crazy shit that's going on that's from the original series, and like. And then, like, you go into their powers, and Josh was explaining to me all the different details and the different, all this other shit about the powers, and I'm like, I have to go back and watch all of that in order to understand all that shit, or I'm going to miss stuff, and I'm not going to enjoy the series.
Well, you'll get to the Pain Saga, and you don't understand why it's so impactful that something happens to Jiraiya. Like, Jiraiya is built up in the first season as being essentially Naruto's, like, actual master. Like, the one who teaches him everything. Like... you got freaking his original teacher from whenever he was still in school, like, who's his father figure, and then you have Kakashi, who's like his guidance, and then like you have Jiraiya, who's like the one he looks up to and wants to be like, and you're like, Jesus, and then you hit like the Pain Saga, and you're like, oh, I didn't think I would cry, but I cried. And I if you didn't cry, you're lying. No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
The Pain Saga was fucking brutal because everyone dies.
Yeah.
Everyone dies. Naruto is like single soloing this dude, and like you get to the end, and you're like, he might lose, and everybody's gonna die. And then some shenanigans happen. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina always happens.
And you're just like, dude, that was fucking a train ride. There goes Faber. No, man. Sorry.
Keep explaining, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. It's just one of those, like, the impact is necessary. Like, you have to watch the original season to get the impact. Like Dragon Ball Z, you don't need that. Like, it's, I'm watching it for the fights. But, like, Naruto, it's for the emotional train ride that it takes you through, like, Sasuke going after his brother. It's like, oh, you don't really understand. And then, like, it goes into the backstory of Itachi, which is his brother, and it's like, dude, what is going on? Like, you're freaking out, and you're just like, geez. Like, you don't get the train ride because you never got on the train. You know what I mean? You have to be on the train to fucking go for the ride. Otherwise, it's just pointless.
Or you could just skip the train and get on a better train that's shorter.
Naruto's, I mean, it's relative. Like, obviously, like, I watched, like, a few episodes at a time. You know what I mean? I didn't just binge Naruto. It wasn't one of those that I actually did that with.
I did.
It took me a really long time to get through it, but, like, it was worth it. It was just whenever I had some free time, I'd watch an episode or two, and then I just kind of left the tab open on my phone, on my browser, and then, just pull up my browser. I want to watch some Naruto today, and then I watch through, like, X amount of episodes, and then, cool, all right, I won't watch it for, like, a week or two, and then I watch the next amount of episodes, and then Or you could read it. I mean, really, it goes by a lot quicker if you read it.
Oh, so like with the manga and stuff like that.
It's
you
more
just end
detailed
up-
too. Like
Yeah.
I mean, the manga is better. It just is. It gives you a little more detail on things that you didn't get. It skips over a lot of the stuff that is and isn't filler. Like, because there is stuff that is filler, but it's not filler. You need to watch it. Like the Kakashi story, it's so necessary to really understand that character. The Itachi story, and these are both like 6 episodes long, or probably like 3 to 6. And it's like, you could skip them, but I wouldn't. Like,
You're not going to understand the character.
Well, you will.
You're not gonna-
will.
Well, you're
It
not going to
just-
understand the impact on certain things.
Well, their backstory, like, it throws a whole new level, because they're from actual books.
Mm-hmm.
There was actual books made on, like, 4 or 5 different characters. And I didn't read them, because I don't want to actually read the books on them. And there's not an audiobook, so...
I gotcha.
But, you know, it's one of those that you really gotta... I picked my poison. I watched it, and then I read it later. Reading it's pretty good. I liked it. I didn't have any problem with it. I'm just used to reading manga at this point, though. Boruto, bar none, read it. Don't fucking watch it. It's a waste of time. Watch the first episode, the beginning of it. That's it. That's all you need.
Boruto is the
It's
one about the sun.
Yeah.
the mistake.
No, it's okay. Like, the story is phenomenal so far. In the books, like in the manga, bar none, one of the best ones ever. Seriously, like, it's the best follow up to a anime that there has been so far.
Have you ever seen ReZero?
Yes, I have. It is terrible. I hate it and I love it. It
And
is,
you love it?
dude. It gives me such bad anxiety watching it
Why is that?
because he's always fucking dying and it's so sad.
What was it?
ReZero. So this dude, he just kind of falls into this world, right?
He walks into
Well,
this world.
Yeah, he walks into this world. He just kind of appears there, and then he like goes through a day.
ReZero?
Yeah, and he thinks he's like the hero of the story. He's not. He's kind of cursed, so he'll get stuck. So if he dies, he just starts back from the beginning. But he actually dies. So like he's going through the pain and everything, and he remembers everything. But it's really fucking brutal. Like, it's actually dark.
You could see him mentally break down.
Yeah.
From after a couple
And,
deaths.
like, yeah, by the end of the first season, he's literally had a complete mental breakdown and like complete PTSD. And he's like, "Please, I want to run away." And like, he's begging a character, and she's like, "That's not who you are." And he's like, "Why?" Like, he's begging her, and I'm just like, Jesus, they really went all in for this.
And he can't tell anybody about it either, or they'll die, or he'll die.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't kill him, but it like puts him through agonizing pain
To do what?
to start telling anybody what's actually going on.
Oh.
Like there's like a curse or something that hasn't been explained. It's only in season 2.
Oh, okay.
It's currently coming out. I actually need to check to see if the new episode's out, but
Oh, they have a movie already.
I know dude, it's fucking brutal though. Like, it is not. I don't know if I want to watch it. It's just seriously not like, it gives you anxiety because you're just like, and there was a point where I was like, dude, stop, just don't, just run away, man. Like, it's one of those animes, or even if it was a movie, I would just be like,
There was a point where he actually got through like the mission that he was trying to do, but in the end, someone that he cared about ended up, I guess, like disappearing from everybody's memories. Like, no one knew about them.
Yeah.
So he literally grabbed a sword and stabbed himself in the throat, saying that he has to complete this correctly, trying to save that person.
yeah, there's
So
several.
when he dies,
he's killed
does
himself.
does it die? Does he restart time?
It goes back to a specific point. So there's an impact point of some sort. I don't know what it is, what causes that point to be the point.
Normally,
But-
after a mission has been completed.
Yeah, but they've already made a point of saying that the set time is not definite. Like, they've already made that really, like, we don't know why the set point starts where it starts. Because I got really into it and I'm very confused by it.
I can tell.
Dude,
it sounds good, though.
It's fucking brutal. Like, it's not funny. Like, I wish it was funny, but like, it starts out so light and you're like, oh, he meets this cute girl. Like, you're like, oh, it's gonna be one of these. And then it's not.
They
Because it
fucking
gets-
die the first episode.
Yeah, it's really dark the first episode, and then it continues to get darker. And I'm just like, and
And
but
the
while
deaths
keeping,
get even more brutal.
yeah, they get really nasty. Like, he gets gutted several times, and he trips over his own intestines, realizing that he's like, oh god. And I'm just like, Jesus. And it's not like gory in any manner. Like, the anime is not gory or anything. It's just they keep this really fine line that they're walking, where it's like, okay, we're going to make this so brutal that it actually taxes people to watch this, but we don't want it to just be like one of those where you're like, oh, dude, the gore. You know what I mean? Because like Attack on Titan is one of those. They just went way over the top on gore.
See, I love Attack on Titan.
I did too. I just think they went over the top on gore. They went unnecessary levels of gore.
Have you seen Goblin Slayer?
Goblin Slayer is fucking nasty.
I mean,
like
the first episode is.
Dude, no, it
I
does.
think after that, it kind of.
What are you talking about? They get like borderline raped like 6 times.
That was the
There's genuine rape throughout that one. It's not funny.
The first episode was straight rape, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in watching.
Well, the goblins are like, how they reproduce is.
Wow.
Yes, they take women and yeah, that's.
Wow.
So
that's like a fucked up version of the Dodo story.
Yeah,
so the main character who is Goblin Slayer. The main character whose name is Goblin Slayer. That's what he does.
He has an actual name, but they just call him Goblin Slayer at this point because that's his identity.
He takes only goblin related missions and he just goes out there and brutally kills them because of the PTSD that they gave him. So he learned how to like literally go out and perfectly destroy goblins and everything. And the way he does it is so brutal.
Yeah, he's just going through and just like massacring goblins because it's like his only thing now. It's another one of those where you're like, oh, because they don't shy away from the rape at all. They don't. They just are like, they're full bore on it. They're like, this is the horror of this show, and it's like, great.
I mean, the first episode was it had it, and then after that, it
lightens up a little bit, but not much.
It lightens up.
They heavily imply it a lot. Like they're like, yeah, these chicks are fucked up, and you're like, oh great, that means they were. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like great.
How the first episode starts is not even with Goblin Slayer himself. It's just with a companion that he ends up meeting, and that companion gets with this other group.
It's like a party.
This other party of like 3 adventurers. They go into a goblin. Was it a goblin cave or something like that?
They expect it to be an easy mission,
and they all get brutally killed.
Well, the dude. So the way it goes is the guys will get killed off immediately. Like, I don't know if they're used for food or what they do. They usually loot the bodies crazily. The girls are immediately raped, and it's like it's not. They don't shy away from it in the slightest. So you're just like. You're just sighing the entire time because it like weighs on you a little bit.
Well, and and what's really funny about that is like anime in general. It's one of those things where people have this misconception about anime that it's something that it's just a cartoon just because of the fact that it's animated, that it's going to be kid friendly, or it's going to be it's not going to want to take things seriously. And anime is one of those. It's literally a medium it's a medium in the art form that can be used to describe any tale. Yeah. So that's the reason why like people will be like, oh, I don't watch anime. That's for that's kid stuff. And it's one of those. I've never taken that kind of stance on anime at all because I know there's kid type anime, but there's also there's just as many different versions of anime as there is traditional television shows. Just because they're animated doesn't mean they're not gonna fucking rip people's heads off or gut people in half and show all of it, or not have really good storylines that you're really, really interested in. I mean, they have animes that are essentially equal to soap operas in modern day. In the United States.
I just think One Piece equaling fucking that, what's that soap opera that's been on for years?
Like Days of Our Lives?
Yes. I'm just like, Jesus, the fucking length of these.
Well, and that's one of the things. They use anime in Asian culture isn't necessarily used just for cartoon-esque things that we would think of in the United States. The reason why we see anime in a different way is because all of our cartoons, majority of them, even though there were some dark ones back in the day, the majority of them are intended for kids because kids like all the pretty colors and stuff like that. Asians like to draw stories and tell them that way, and it's just part of the culture. But anime is not always for. It's definitely not all for kids.
It's a medium that can hit any place. Like, so you have Dragon Ball Z. You could have any kid
watch
Dragon
Ball Z. Yeah,
but you also have like, I mean, I hate like ReZero or Demon Slayer where shit gets dark quick.
Was it when people tell me that anime is just for kids, I end up showing them this anime right here, Comic Kill?
Dude, that one's fucking brutal.
The whole point of it is, in the end, everybody dies. The main character and everything.
Yeah, that one gets dark at the end. It starts out lighter than you'd imagine.
Actually, no, it doesn't start out lighter either. The main character's friends are like brutally like killed in
I forgot about that. Yep.
Like messed up ways.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so the main character is this adventurer who leaves his village to become, I guess, some sort of like soldier in the army to make a lot of money for his village, and he had two other friends who were gonna do the same thing. So they all went on the same mission, but they all split up. By the end of the first episode, the main character ends up meeting this nice lady after he gets robbed and he's poor and everything. He's stuck on like a bridge. He's about to fall asleep on a bridge as a homeless person, and this nice lady comes by. Is like, hey, do you need a place to stay? Is like, sure, why not? Give him a place to stay. That same night that he was staying there, they end up that nice lady's house gets attacked by assassins. Come to find out that what is it? The reason why the assassins were actually there to kill them was because of what they were doing to people that they found that they found on the streets.
Lower class.
Lower class peasants that they found on the streets, and they had this like barn,
kind of like the Purge,
something like that. They had like this barn in the back.
It's a rebellion, more like
where
it's based. The anime is more based on like the assassins. They're rebelling against the current social norms, so they're taking out the corrupt officials that are essentially murderers and rapists and so on. Like they're abusing their power to an extent that it's disgusting. The one he's talking about, they're poisoning people. Like they're inviting peasants in. Like they're like, oh, you need a place to stay? Come stay at my mansion. It's cool, dude. And they would like poison them and then start torturing them. I don't know if they sexually harass them in any way, shape, or form, but they do torture them brutally. The
two friends of the main character, one was a female, one was a male. The girl was, I guess, was it jealous of how the girl looked? So she tried to make her as ugly as possible by like cutting her and like torturing her in all these different ways and stuff like that. Well, the male friend, he was subjugated to like all these different types of poisons and stuff that they were just experimenting on him. So when he walks into that barn and sees his friend with all like his face all messed up from all the poison stuff running through his system, it really like messes with the guy's head because he's seeing his friends die right in front of him. Wow. Brutally.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they just started off on a pretty dark note. I mean, I like how they got there, but it was still fucked.
Yeah, see, and that's one of the things, like, that's one of the reasons, I mean, and Attack on Titan, and I know, Attack on Titan, you think they might have went a little bit overboard, but that's one of the things that actually got me really into it.
Yeah.
Was just that first moment, because it's like, okay, a lot of the anime I'd watched in the past and stuff like that was, it was like mild. DBZ. Yeah, it was mild kind of stuff. And, when I watched it on Hulu for the first time. And the first thing that comes up on Hulu when I started watching an episode was, hey, viewer discretion advised, this is not for children. And I was like, oh, shit, all right. And then, like, within the first 5 minutes, homeboy's getting his mom picked up, and she's getting bitten in half and ripped off. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is going to be awesome. And so I'm actually glad they kind of went quite so brutal, because I don't know if I would have got into it as much. Because the reason why I started watching Attack on Titan is because I'd heard all these great things about it. Everybody said it was awesome. And I love going to RealmsCon. I go to RealmsCon almost every year. And I always see all these people there dressed as Attack on Titan people, and I had no idea what the hell it was. And I figured everybody got so into it that, it must be good, so I figured I'd give it a try. And it was. It's really good, and I absolutely love it. And I bought Attack on Titan stuff, and next time I go to... next time RealmsCon happens around, hopefully the Attack on... Because that year that I went, the reason why I watched all that stuff was because all the voice actors were going to be there. Mm-hmm. And so... It was one of those things where I really hope that they end up showing up again, because I bought this stuff and I'd really love to have all the voice actors sign this hat that I bought, because I don't ever wear hats. But I have all the voice actors sign all that, and I thought that would be really cool. So
hey, if you want a buddy to go with you, I definitely want.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll be going together this year. So all right, any final thoughts on anime before we finish this up, Carlos?
Anime's not for kids.
Not all anime is for kids. So, and for the off chance that this turns into a podcast, Everybody, thanks for listening. I hope you really enjoyed it. This is our Sunday event. This is Jesse, Carlos, and Kyle all signing off for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Peace.
When is the next RomsCon? Are they doing it?
No, it's been canceled.